Are we live?
We are
I
live.
think we're live. Welcome everybody to the Well Your Weekend live cooking show. Glad to have everybody here. We are cooking up a storm. Not really, because these are easy, quick, 10-minute meals. Hey, we're live on YouTube. Everybody can join us today because we felt like partying. I'm Reeves. I'm your co-host. And now, the cook of the show, Dylan Holmes.
The cook of the show. Hey everybody! Thank you, Reeves. What a great intro. She does our intros now with her prop microphone. It's the best. We are cooking live today. If you are wondering why this is publicly available on YouTube, we are doing a free trial month right now. In fact, let's put this in the window so you can see it. There's the link for anybody who hasn't signed up yet. You can't get the recipes unless you sign up. So most of the people here are already members, but I think we'll have some stragglers come in when they realize that we're live on YouTube. We only do this cooking show live on YouTube 2 times a year. And this is one of those 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's free trial month, so get in on it. Go to wellyourworld.com/cooking show and sign up for our show. If you haven't already, you'll get all the recipes from this show, the next show too, because you get a whole month of free trial. And then you can go back to all 120 plus of our previous episodes too. If you want to get right to the cooking and you're watching the replay, you can fast forward like 10 minutes because we're going to talk for a few minutes here. This is our long form cooking show. There's no editing. This is not a YouTube video. This is us hanging out. This is our live show. We've been doing this for 5 years now, probably this month actually.
Wow.
6 years. 6 years.
What?
I started, oh wait, 2018, 5 years. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I feel like we just had our 3-year birthday last year. Guess that was 2 years ago.
I started in 2018, way before live streaming on the internet got cool thanks to pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are making 10-minute meals today. You don't have the recipes yet. Even if you're a member, we're going to send those out via email a couple hours after the show. We'll take everything down, clean everything up, and then put the finishing touches on the PDFs and send them out. But if you don't know, you get a nice, this is just the black and white version, but you get a nice copy of a printable PDF and, you know, all beautiful recipe, a little photo on there of what it looks like, boom.
Mm-hmm.
What else? If you have questions, put them in the chat box, but make it kind of obvious for Reeves because we're going to have a lot more people than normal in the chat box today because we're live on YouTube.
Put a lot of emojis or something, because we talk about all kinds of things in the chat box, and I love it.
It's an instructional show. We're going to show you some meal ideas, but it's also really, even more for me, is a community show. This is our chance to hang out with the people like us. And so I think that is the real value of being in the chat box, interacting with us. You can tell us what to do. You can tell us what to change. You can tell us what to name these recipes. It's a very interactive show.
Actually.
We need it. Because I'm not really much of a recipe namer.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you?
Just don't take notes. Sit back and relax. If you're not a member, sign up and you'll get the PDFs just the same like everybody else. I mean, these are 10-minute meals. These are so easy. I'm just really proud of us for honing in our style of simplicity over the years. We really
Well said.
We really kind of nailed it down. We gave you guys what you want, and it's also what we want.
That's true. It really was honed thanks to your input and feedback on what you like. And I think that the most challenging thing about sticking to a healthy, whole plant food diet is the complexity aspect. So many people are making it way too complex, rigid rules. We talked about this on the Hangout. Every time before we do a live cooking show, the day before we have a Hangout, we're sitting here, Q&A. We had Luca on yesterday, a little 1-year-old doing cute things. But anyway, too many people make it really hard. We talked about this yesterday. It was really rigid rules. Even people who have been doing this for years find that the rules are just too hard. So make the rules simpler, make the process simpler, and you'll actually be able to stick to it. And that is our message here on YouTube. So you're not going to see today gourmet cuisine, not interested. We do that sometimes on the show, but for the most part, we try, everything is the Well Your World style. Fast, easy cooking, simple ingredients, simple steps, as few steps as possible, cut corners wherever we can. We'll be talking about that throughout the show today.
Yep.
And just get the food done and accept the bare minimum that you like to stay on track. You know, you don't need to spend 30 extra minutes for 5% more flavor. Why? What's the point? When you're barely going to notice anyway, unless you were tasting the two next to each other. So cut corners wherever you can, make it really fast. Save the fancy meals for the weekend, or when you have time for them, or when they feel like they're fun. Actually, that's a better way to say it. When you feel like you don't have a lot of time, that is the last time that you should be ever fancying meals. So don't pretend like you're a chef all the time just because you're plant-based. Don't think that because you're focusing on a healthy diet that it also means that you have to chase after every little molecule of nutrient in the food possible by adding all of these rigid rules. Cut this and let it sit on the cutting board. Cook this but not too hot. Don't worry about all that. Just take out the garbage from your diet and you'll be able to stick to a healthy plant-based diet. Okay? We've got 4 super easy meals. The show will probably go about 90 minutes. Sometimes they go longer when I just massively over-deliver. Today I'm trying to keep it to the 90 minutes. There's a link in the corner if you haven't signed up. There's a link down below in the description box if you haven't signed up. It's free for the first month, and you can cancel anytime during the month and you won't be charged. So you've got nothing to lose. Sign up for the show, try us out. And now my job is to convince you to stick around for the next month and the one after that. Don't tell me until we meet again.
Until we meet again. Hey, enjoy the lentil things. Yeah.
Oh, we're both wearing lentil shirts today.
Are we cooking lentils
How about
today,
that? No, in fact. I suppose we aren't. That's funny. We are making, today we're going to start with our SpaghettiOrzos. This is our healthy version of SpaghettiOs. That you can use them for kids. You can make it for yourself. We're even going to steam some broccoli and throw it on top after so that you can add an even more well-balanced broccoli to the meal. Then we're going to do a sweet potato bowl. This is something Reeves used to eat all the time. We don't do enough of it, so this is going to get us back fresh of mind, front of mind.
No more
the
recipe
sweet potato
amnesia.
Bowl. No more recipe amnesia. These are all really good cards to put. Remember, if you've downloaded our meal rotator cast, maybe you can drop a link in the chat box real quick. But our meal rotator is an awesome guide that really breaks down the Well Your World way and the simplicity stuff we were talking about a few minutes ago. Pick just a few meals in your meal rotation. Don't get a 21-day or 30-day meal planner. Get rid of all that. It's too hard. You can't plan. You don't know what you're going to feel like next Tuesday at lunchtime to eat. Get rid of those meal planners and focus on 5 to 10 at the most easy meals. Put them on your pantry door. Your shopping list, our shopping list is always the same. It's never with fancy ingredients. And we've always got everything in stock from our meal cards. So you don't have to plan like a meal plan. You don't have to take all these recipes and then add up a half a bell pepper and 1 bell pepper and then 2, and then make this whole big shopping list and then half the food goes bad anyway. Just buy your regular meal rotation. You'll always have everything in stock for almost every one of our recipes. We use very few fancy ingredients, and I'll explain that as we go too. I explain that in every show. One other thing I wanted to mention before we get cooking is that if you're a member of our live cooking show, you know that you do not need our food products to participate. We know that many people are here from around the world. Tell us where you're from in the chat box if you want, but we don't ship our products around the world, so you can't get them even if you wanted to in some places. So we do not require any of our products for the cooking show recipes. And this is the first, you get the first taste of our recipes on our live cooking show. It's not for like a year later before we finally make them into a YouTube video and put out the short version. So we are going to use some of our products during the show, but I'll explain why they are not needed. I'd say today, because it's wide open to the public, I'm going to show off a couple of our products. But like I said, they are absolutely never required to participate in our live cooking show. So please sign up even if you're international. Thank you for being here. We already have over 300 people showing up, and we're not even cooking yet.
Your mom said, wow, we're going to top 300 today. I remember the days when there was just 15 of us. 15. The geez, Reeves, before you came. When you came, we had only like 100 people signed up for the show back in, a year and a half into doing the show. And then maybe only 20% of them could actually show up live. So it was a small group, and I just kept doing it. People started liking it and spreading the word, and here we are, a couple thousand members now, and it's going strong. It's pretty awesome. This is the most fun we have, is doing this show. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you all for being here live. Thank you for watching the replay and
Sherry
enjoying
said
this.
It's all because of Reeves.
It is a lot because of Reebs, to be quite honest. There's not a whole lot I'm doing any different than I was before, except now we have more food products.
It's a group effort these days. It used to be just you.
You just tell me what to cook and I cook it. All of the food ideas today Reeves and Cassandra came up with them, and then I just figure out the specifics for how we're going to make them come into a reality.
And we take requests too. We get a lot of good ones in our email.
Yes, we love requests. We love doing whatever you want. The show is for you, not for me. Okay, here we go. We're making the SpaghettiOrzo, as I mentioned. We're making the sweet potato bowl. Then I feel like I got off track and didn't tell you the rest. We're making a creamy, what did we decide we're calling this? A creamy beans and greens?
We're calling it that for now until you guys give us a better title.
It's a really fast version of making greens and beans, creamy. We're going to use hummus to play around with it. Then we're going to make a barbecue wrap with the Trader Joe's whole wheat lavash. We always try to throw in some sort of fresh wrap, no cook type stuff. Check out our most recent episodes, by the way, if you've just signed up, because we did the no cook episode, which was awesome. I feel like our shows are just getting better and better. But a lot of people still go back to episode 1 because they want to see me cut my finger on camera. I guess that was in episode 2. Let's get to the cooking. We are making SpaghettiOrzo. I need to start this pasta right now. Every one of these meals should be around 10 minutes. I didn't time it. You get it. Let's go over to the stove here and get these nudes a cooking. What pot was I going to do the pasta in?
And I hope that everyone, if this is your first time here or you just happened upon us on accident today because we're publicly live, I hope you ate before the show. Because if you didn't, you're going to be very hungry.
That's true. That somebody in the chat box is always lamenting that they'd forgotten to eat.
And we don't have taste-o-vision yet, and we don't have smell-o-vision. So.
Okay, so I'm going to show you now. I just wanted to get the pasta boiling, and I don't want it to boil over though, so I'm going to watch it for a second. And I'll show you what this pasta is up close. Remember, this is long form, no editing. We're here, you'll see exactly how these dishes come together for real. Okay, we'll turn this down a bit.
Mike's asking what brand is your cookware?
It's a Kirkland brand, but they don't sell this kind anymore. I prefer all stainless steel stuff. I don't like non-stick coatings because we cook with a little bit of liquid like veggie stock, whatever. So I like really stainless steel. This stuff I've had since 2015, and it is perfect. There's no marks, nothing, because stainless steel, you can rub it with the steel wool and everything. So it's my favorite. Some, like this little pot that I have over here, we're going to do the broccoli in, is a little mini Dutch oven type, so it has an enameled cast iron. Those are okay. You have to be a little more careful with them. But anyway, keep the questions coming and feel free to interrupt and we'll just keep going. Here's the pasta that I'm using. The reason I'm not using the O's, which I believe are called annalini, is
There's no O in annalini.
There sure isn't. I don't know how they came up with that. But I couldn't find them whole wheat, and I did manage to find orzo whole wheat, so it's SpaghettiOrzos. Get it?
But those are eyes.
These are spaghetti eyes.
Spaghetti eyes.
Here is the whole wheat orzo that I found locally at Sprouts. You might need to find it online. Maybe Cass, you could drop a, there it is, okay. She's got the link in the chat box there. But this is the whole wheat version of orzo. I found it at one Sprouts, and then I looked for it another day, and I didn't find it at a different Sprouts, so I don't know. Sprouts is a grocery store we have here. I don't know if everybody has that. Okay, let's chop up some broccoli. I'm going to show you the SpaghettiOrzos without broccoli, and then we're going to, because I want you to see how it really looks like SpaghettiOs. And then we'll throw in some steamed broccoli because I believe in adding broccoli to just about everything. Because it's tasty, it's got that beautiful crunch, and it adds some good non-starchy nutrition to the meal. Yeah,
and it was a little lacking in the veg department, even though it did look very reminiscent to SpaghettiOs. Somebody was saying SpaghettiOs and toast? What's that about? Is that a thing that people do?
Well, don't some people like tomato soup and toast or something? Oh, it's like, isn't it always tomato soup and grilled cheese?
Oh, you know what? I just saw in the Facebook group, which if you're not in there, you should be in there.
You can
if
drop
you don't have Facebook, sign up just for our group only.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook except for our group. Okay, I just cut some broccoli up pretty small. It's a little smaller than the regular floret size. And I'm going to throw this into this other pot on the stove. Now, normally I will say before I do that, this is only going to take a few minutes. But normally I would just throw the broccoli in the pasta in the last few minutes. So instead of setting my pasta timer for 10 minutes, I'd set it for 7, throw the broccoli in, and do 3 more, and dump it all into the strainer together. Because now you just have one pot to dirty, right? But I wanted to add it after, so you can see the SpaghettiOs on their own. And so I'll use a separate pot for the broccoli this time, okay? Let's go get that in. Let me take the lid off.
What could I use instead of Orzo's that's gluten-free?
The Barilla, I can show you that our favorite pasta is the Barilla.
Barilla.
And it is a gluten-free pasta. Of course, you don't have to use tiny little pasta noodles like the Orzo's. I'll show you in a second. Let's clean this up. The sauce comes together that we're about to make in 30 seconds, so I think you're going to be impressed with how this really does taste like SpaghettiOs, but obviously way less salty.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's so salty. Okay, I'll show you the Barilla. I'm not in any hurry, so we might get derailed with questions, whatever. Normally, in our show, it's normally about an hour and a half. We're making only 4 10-minute meals, so we have plenty of time to talk. Here's one. I like, for example, here's the rotini. I also like the penne. There's also the chickpea instead of the red lentil. The reason I like Barilla is it seems to hold its shape, its texture. I don't know if they press it more densely. I don't know how they do it because it really is just red lentil flour. So I don't really know how they make this work. It's some sort of scientific feat. But this pasta keeps so well if you overcook it. Like so many of the gluten-free pastas, they say on the package, ready in 5 minutes, whatever. And if you wait 5 minutes and 4 seconds, it's mush. I can't explain it. So this, you can go for several minutes long. You could cook this in the Instant Pot, in like when I do the Instant Pot ziti recipe, and it will not get mushy. It will just stay a nice texture. I can't explain how, but that's why we're a Barilla family.
So a lot of people did the toast, to scoop the SpaghettiOs. Joan says, we always used potato chips as a spoon for SpaghettiOs when we were kids. No reason you can't still do that and cut some of those like potato nachos we did in the street food episode to use that as a scoop. I like that.
I like that. Very nice, very nice. Let's make the sauce. It is very simple. I showed you the Orzo. We're done with that. Here we have a can of no salt added. Please try to find the no salt added because canned tomatoes can be really salty. I get our tomatoes and our no salt beans canned at Winco. Thank you so much, Sandy, for the super chat. That's very kind. I don't have the ads turned on right now, but they will be on the replay. But that's a lovely way, I didn't even think of it, to give us a little tip. That's nice. Thank you. Here is
to the tipper.
Here is the no salt added tomato sauce. You can get it for so cheap at Winco, but I've seen them, I think I'm seeing it at Walmart now too. I forget. I'm pretty sure that you can get it at Walmart. Okay, so we did 1 can of tomato sauce. That's all it takes. Then we have the rest we're gonna add is right here. It's not fancy. We've got some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, smoky or sweet, does not matter, some date powder. You could blend this if you don't have access to date powder like the one that we sell. This is ours that we sell online, but you usually can get date sugar at the store, which is just dried up dates. Ours is just better. But it has all the fiber, nothing. It's not like date syrup, which has the fiber removed. I prefer date powder for everything because it has the fiber. It's the whole food. It's just been dried and ground up. Okay. Now, what was I saying? Paprika. Here is our non-fortified nutritional yeast that we also sell on our website. This is one of our most popular products, non-fortified, and the best price. It beats all the price of the ones that you find on Amazon. So check us out. And we do have free shipping on all orders, $50 or more.
You know, when I was setting up the recipes today, I accidentally put cheese sauce mix instead of the nooch, and Dylan's like, oh no, what did you do? I'm like, I think I did a very happy accident. I think it would have been delicious.
Yeah, sure. It just would have been less noochy and a little thicker because there would have been potato in it. Okay, I'm just throwing everything in. And then we'll go to the stove. Oh, I'm gonna throw in a couple tablespoons of soy milk. You can add this as you go based on how thick and creamy you want the sauce, but just, you know, not too much. A couple tablespoons worth. It'll all be on the recipes when we email them out to you. So let's grab our whisk and we'll go give this a stir. I also, how's our broccoli doing? Here, check it out. Pasta's looking good. I like to go a little long on the whole wheat orzo because it just gets nice. Okay. Now, the other thing with this is once we get this all stirred up, you might want to cover it to heat it up because with this is a kind of a thick tomato sauce and it will splatter. So maybe cover it while you're heating it and just check it every minute or two and give it another stir. Our broccoli's looking nice. Go ahead, Reeves.
Someone's reminding us that we're indeed out of stock on Nooch right now.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that back in stock right now because we're gonna have it next week. So your order, if you order Nooch, will be delayed about 1 day. That's it. So I need to go and add that so that you can get it.
Dylan is like, you think that he wasn't multitasking before because he's got to cook and switch the cameras, and now he's like putting something back into stock. Like, I'm so glad that all I have to do is read the screen because I'd be lost.
I'm just gonna put 1,000. I don't remember how many we're getting.
Susie's asking, when is the ranch dressing coming, please? We're actually gonna make a ranch today, but if we did make a ranch to sell, I think we would do it like as a dry powder where you add your own water, kind of like the cheese sauce, because it would be too hard, and so many people don't eat nuts to put it in a bottle.
Let's check it. Oh, it's already going. It's already going full. As long as you're stirring this, it keeps going. Yes, I agree with everything you said, Reeves. We are working on a ranch dressing mix that I think will be really good. Okay, you can turn this down. We do not need to explode everywhere. Once this is hot, you can just kind of simmer it on low. It's still going to splatter a little if you don't have the lid on, but that's okay. That's to be expected. Okay, let's strain out our, I'll put it on 2. There goes our pasta. Let's strain our broccoli first. Where's my little pot holder?
Now everybody wants to know where the veggie broth powder is.
Yeah, that one I'm still working on. We've had a lot going on. And now you know why we've also been behind, because we announced yesterday that Rebecca is pregnant. So we have experienced some delays. Even though when Rebecca's pregnant, I swear she's the most productive person in town.
That's because I have to like work for my maternity leave. I'm like, I better get a lot done because I plan to just sit on my butt for the next month and a half when the baby's born.
So what did you make a whole new cookbook this week?
Yeah, I sure did. We got some cookbooks coming out down the line, you guys.
Excellent. Okay, the orzo is done. This really is a 10-minute meal. All you do is throw the sauce in, cook the pasta, boom, put it together, done. We've been hanging out, so we've spent a little bit more time, obviously.
Everyone's excited for new cookbooks. And our 3 that we have right now are still on sale. So if you don't have those yet, get them. And if you ever have a question about anything at all, you can email Dylan directly. He answers his email very fast. I encourage you not to put the question in the Facebook group if it's something related to our products, you know,
something specific to your experience, then I can help you by email.
It's hello.
Of course, you can ask questions about our products and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. But like, if you get a broken bottle in the mail or something, it's probably best to just email me about that, and we'll get you taken care of. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna show you in a bowl. Maybe do I need to heat this up anymore? I think it's all plenty hot. So let's get you a little bowl here, and you're gonna see for yourself just how much this looks like SpaghettiOs.
Spaghetti eyes.
Here it is, our SpaghettiOrzos. You can do more pasta than this, right? If you think the ratio of sauce to pasta isn't quite right for you, that's easy. Just add a little bit more pasta. I think this ratio is pretty good. The first time I made it, I used less pasta, so I added a little bit.
We did have a debate privately about how saucy the SpaghettiOs should be.
Right. When I haven't eaten real SpaghettiOs, and I don't...
Have you ever?
I don't even know if I'd ever really ate them. I have, of course, but since being a kid, probably never. And you can get a little kitchen scale to weigh out your pasta, because this is a whole pound of orzo, and I only used 5 ounces. You can eyeball it, of course. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Let's have a little taste, Rooney.
Are you adding your broccoli?
I'm gonna, but I wanted to show you. So here's what it looks like up close. Boom, SpaghettiOrzo's. This is a perfectly healthy meal, but it's not gonna, I need a little more to it. So that's why I like to add the broccoli. Give it a little more crunch, kind of fill you up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take some, and I would just put it all in the pot when we mix the noodles into the sauce. That's good enough for me.
We often add steamed veg to almost all of our pasta dishes.
Mm-hmm. Steamed zucchini is my other favorite for steamed stuff to add. Now it's even more beautiful, and you have a much more well-rounded meal. So let's have a taste.
Kathy's asking, will Luca eat that? I have a granddaughter that won't eat anything messy.
Luca loves messy. And if it's a not messy food, he'll find a way to make it messy. Really good. All it took was a little garlic powder, onion powder. You gotta sweeten it up a little with the date powder because that SpaghettiOs definitely have added sugar.
Yeah.
And probably the oil and obviously the salt too.
Someone was asking about what they could do if they don't care for nutritional yeast in this recipe.
Leave it out. Try a different blend. You know, we have our Galaxy Dust. I was going to play with that when we do our beans recipe. Our Stardust does have a little nutritional yeast in it, but the Galaxy Dust does not. Any of your favorite spice blends, something like that. The Nooch gives it a little bit of a creamy, I don't know how to explain it, a tangy flavor.
Cassandra said regular SpaghettiOs somehow have dairy.
That would explain it. So the Nooch kind of takes the place of the dairy flavor. You could just play around with some more soy milk, things like that. But you can see the color of the broth, or the sauce, seems pretty similar from what I remember.
Yeah. Somebody was asking, why do you prefer non-fortified nutritional yeast?
I prefer non-fortified because fortified nutritional yeast traditionally have a lot of things you don't need. I like that fortified nutritional yeast has B12 because a lot of people just don't take the capsule. You really should take, I'm pointing over here because this is where I keep it, right on the counter. I have my vitamin D and my vitamin B12. Now, you should be taking a vitamin B12 at least every other day, 1,000 micrograms. So it's cool that nutritional yeast is often fortified with that, but it also has niacin, which gives some people a digestive reaction or an allergic reaction. Red skin, my dad used to get when he took niacin. It also has like folic acid and other things that you can get from whole food just fine. We don't have a whole entire vitamin B problem. We have a vitamin B12 problem. So what I'm going to do is actually make, in addition to our non-fortified, I'm always going to sell that, I'm thinking of also making a fortified with only B12 nutritional yeast, where it's actually fermented and mixed into the yeast, not mixed after, because then your B12 is going to be falling all off the yeast and it's not actually going to be in the yeast, but where it's actually processed in it. So we're working with our lab to do that, but it is going to take a few months. I'll just keep eating while you're asking questions. You want to try this, by the way? It's really good.
Is it burning hot?
No, I let it cool down. That's why I waited so long to offer you a taste.
KP Stardust says, I now pour all my soups and stews over a big pile of spinach.
Very nice.
Love that.
Yeah, spinach would be really good. Just throw a handful of spinach into the SpaghettiOrzo's. That's a really good way. I got to get some water.
Your mom said, okay, I'm getting seriously hungry. Michelle, you should know,
of all people. She's been here since episode 1, and she doesn't know to eat first.
Maybe she already did. It just looks so good.
Kale, you could use frozen spinach. You could use frozen chopped kale or collard greens in this dish. Don't be afraid of the frozen. In a lot of our 10-minute meals, hold on. In a lot of our 10-minute meals, we do the frozen stuff because it saves so much time. And then I get comments from people that are like, oh, if you're not going to eat fresh produce, why even bother? Unsubscribe. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're not clearly you're not quite familiar with our methods here. I obviously am pretty good with a knife. I know how to do fresh produce. But when you're trying to do quick, fast, easy meals, it can be very beneficial to use some frozen ingredients like frozen onion, frozen bell pepper. You can't tell the difference in most meals. If you're making it into like a fresh Buddha bowl, maybe that's when you use the fresh produce for sure.
Yeah.
But when you're cooking it like we're going to do in the beans recipe in a little bit, I mean, you're not going to know whether it's fresh or whatever. We're about to make the potato bowl. Let's get to that. I'm using frozen mango.
And you mentioned Walmart earlier. Walmart is like really great at some of this frozen stuff, and now they have so much salt-free stuff. It really surprises me that that's probably like one of my go-to places to get like the canned and frozen food.
Yeah, Walmart, Winco's really good. Kroger and Fry's are also pretty good.
Dylan, you didn't let me explain the taste and flavor sensation of the SpaghettiOrzos. It is incredible. So many people in the chat were saying, oh, my kids would love this, my grandkids would love this. Yes. KP Stardust, thank you for the super chat.
That's definitely why I waited on the broccoli. It's reminiscent of the kids' meal. I would try to get Luca to eat the broccoli, but I'd have to cut it really small and mix it into everything so that he doesn't know that it's separate. It could be grabbed separately, because otherwise he'll go to the most calorie-dense stuff first.
Yeah.
He'll get the noodles and he'll ignore the broccoli. Not because he doesn't like broccoli, but because if you put it next to pasta, he likes pasta more. But if you just gave him a bowl of broccoli with a little nutritional yeast on it, he would definitely eat it.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how you can see, the kids don't know what they're doing, but boy does their subconscious understand calorie density. It's pretty awesome. It's really cool to see all that. Okay, yeah. Reebs, walk me through this bowl, because I've never made it before, and you have made it 100 times. And I have some sweet potatoes here that we baked. We did these this morning, but you should have I could explain this.
Explain it to...
You know what I'm about to explain.
As I bring my bowl back to my face, because I can't quite put it down.
I am not a big, and this doesn't mean I don't like it for you, but I am not a big recipe batch prepper type. I like to make my bulk things that take time as a batch prep in advance, such as potatoes, and then have them in the fridge, or brown rice. And actually, lately with brown rice, I've been using those freezer bag packets because they're so handy. But frozen brown rice is a good example. Russet potatoes, we usually always have a bag of russet potatoes in the fridge that we can make into fries when we just don't want to cook. We'll just take the russet potatoes. Either I will steam them and smash them again just to heat them up, or microwave, and then put my cheese sauce, our cheese sauce mix that you can buy on the website, I'll use that. And then that's a meal. Maybe I'll steam some broccoli and cauliflower, cheese sauce, maybe potato, boom, that's a meal. So these are the little tips and tricks those are even faster than 10-minute meals.
Yeah.
But
a cold baked potato dipped in hummus.
Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Hummus is a great example of something I would keep in bulk in the fridge, so that you've always got, especially if you have kids. I mean, a cranky kid, hummus is like pixie dust.
We got a hummus recipe coming up, so.
So these are sweet potatoes that follow that rule. I did make them this morning, but you could have sweet potatoes ready in your fridge. You could have peeled them already. I don't know. Whatever you like to do that. We just baked these at 400 or so for an hour, and they were plenty
and
gorgeous.
Dylan was like, "Are they overdone?" I'm like, "I don't think you can mess up a sweet potato."
I figure you can.
Expert.
I figure you can, because when they're really hot and you poke through them, your finger almost goes all the way through, and I'm like, did I turn this into mush? But they still work fine as mashed sweet potato. Luca loves sweet potato, so sweet potato is definitely one we should actually do even better at keeping in the fridge.
Apple says, I like to batch my elements rather than recipes too.
Batch what?
Elements rather than recipes.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I'm going to cube this, right? And then do I just spread it all around the bottom, or bootable it to the side?
Honestly, I put it in a bowl and mix it first. You want to get everything mixed together.
Mix it together and then serve it?
Yeah.
Okay, but I am cubing it, not mashing it. All right, we'll do it Reeb's way.
And somebody was asking in the last recipe, they were like, can I add garam masala to the SpaghettiOrzos? You can add whatever you want to whatever we ever suggest that you make. Because that's all that recipes are suggestions. We're like, here's an idea.
Our recipes are very flexible. People asking all the time, what do I do if I don't have this? You just use something else. It doesn't matter. Anything that you like is fair game. And I can't stress that enough, because it bewilders people when they're brand new, especially, and used to recipes. but our recipes are purposely very flexible to where if you don't like mushrooms, then you just find something you do like and throw it in. Nothing has to be.
I think what makes our recipes so approachable is the fact that we don't have a culinary background. So we really try to write the recipes like super simple. Like we try not to put like half of something as an ingredient. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm going to use a whole bell pepper. Is that what you normally do, Reeves? Or does that sound like a lot?
No, go for it.
And do you dice it? Mm-hmm. All right, let's dice. We'll keep Reeves on the screen for our chopping. Okay, so
I'm
a little.
Always here. I always get to watch.
This is a fresh bowl, so I am going to use fresh ingredients for this, but it's still easily a 10-minute meal if you've got your sweet potato already ready to go in the fridge. And you can microwave your sweet potato to reheat it, or you can enjoy this cold. What did you normally do, Reeves? Did you reheat your sweet potato?
No, I didn't.
So
I enjoyed
it was a cold meal?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. This isn't too much bell pepper?
I don't know.
You can always add more sweet potato. No big deal.
What dish is Dylan working on now? We haven't come up with an official name for it, but it's a sweet potato bowl with some fresh ingredients and fruit and starchy black beans.
We would love a name if you've got one.
Pam says, I cook my sweet potatoes in the Instant Pot. Tell us how, Pam, because I'd
tell
love
us
a
the
refresher.
I haven't done it that way in a while. This really is a handy device. I'm not suggesting you need it by any means, but it was Chef AJ that got me to buy the Breville Smart Oven Air, and it is pretty sweet. We use it definitely more than the oven.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was going to happen. I was hesitant for a long time, mostly because I don't like buying a million gadgets. But you just have to succumb sometimes. And so I got it, and it's been great.
It's a great all-in-one.
Especially for when you don't want to totally heat up the whole house. If you don't have air conditioning and you're in a really hot place, you're still going to be heating up the house somewhat, but it's a lot better than using the oven. Which is why we did that no-cook episode. Was that our very last show, or was that street food? I don't remember. But our last couple episodes were awesome. Okay, we've got the sweet potato, the red bell pepper. You want me to chop this mango a little smaller?
Yeah.
This is frozen mango that I thawed, so there's a little juice there that I just poured out, and I'll chop this up a little more.
Have you ever seen Dylan try to slice a mango?
I'm not that good with fresh mango. I just take the skin off and eat it like an apple. And then it's all in your teeth, and like all day you're like, I gotta get some floss. And so the frozen mango I love. I love just snacking on frozen mango in its frozen state. It's just like so good. It's cold. It's not crunchy. It's like still soft and creamy. I love eating frozen mango. But anyway, we've let this thaw, and I'll just chop it into a little bit smaller pieces. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to run my knife over it a couple times, and we're good. Just little bite-sized pieces. You could do pineapple too, frozen.
Yeah, you could.
Sorry, Reeves, you were going to say
something. Someone said, if you guys decide to do a food truck, I'll just come on by.
You're not the first to ask for a Well Your World food truck. That would be cool. I'm throwing it in the bowl with everything else. And I'll give this a little wipe because it's a little sticky.
Wow.
Okay, next, a can of black beans. Let me show you the black beans we like, since some of you are new to this. But this is the one I said that we get at Winco, the Sun Vista, no salt added. And I can get pinto beans and black beans like this at Winco, and they're like $1 or less, I think. Really a good deal. I love canning. I do pressure canning. I love all the homesteader type stuff when I have time for it. But this, boy, does that save time. And I know it's a little more expensive than if you made your own and canned your own black beans, but like time is more valuable than money for a lot of people that watch our stuff. 1 can of black beans, I rinsed it, let it drain out, throw it in the bowl. This is more than 1 bowl. Are we in agreement?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's not just 1 bowl.
Okay, I didn't know if we were building 1 bowl.
You're building a meal of food for plenty. There you go.
Okay,
and if you already have your sweet potato cooked, this is no cook recipe.
That's true. Half a bunch or so of cilantro, just chop it and throw it in. Okie dokie.
And Peter says, canned beans, unsubscribed.
Some people, dude, they're really, that fresh produce thing really rubs some people the wrong way. Because I don't know, I guess some people that are plant-based just think that if you're doing it for your health, then you have to be like 1,000,000%. And everything has to be exactly like it would have been done by the Pilgrims. And I'm like, I don't know about that. 1 lime or 2?
We'll taste and find out, because those limes you bought are looking a little...
Well, they're turning yellow because they're getting sweeter. They're just ripening more.
Okay.
They're still good.
I was
they
worried
turned
about
really
the
fast.
amount of juice.
Because, oh no, they're going to be very juicy. 2 days ago, they were totally green. And in a couple months, we'll have our lime tree. We'll be ready to go. And we'll have essentially unlimited little key limes, Mexican limes.
And we planted a regular lime tree too, didn't we?
Yes, but it is very young.
It's a baby.
That'll take a couple years, maybe not a couple years. Okay, I put in 1 lime. Are we going to put in some avocado?
Heck yeah. Apple says, this isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Did someone do that?
Like when they're like, unsubscribe.
Oh.
Not to the chat. People announce that, oh, I got to go back to work all the time. That's not what they're referring to.
Okay. Okay, you good?
Yeah, my sweater fell. I thought my microphone fell off.
Me too. Okay, I'll just use a butter knife because then I don't have to worry about cutting through the skin into my fingers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then you can just whip through this thing, and I'm just dicing it in the skin, and then throw it in here.
Crystal had said, I'm so happy I found you guys. I was really struggling this way because I was trying to follow other people with a lot of recipes that had way too many ingredients.
Yeah.
And I got overwhelmed.
Yeah, you don't realize how few ingredients you really need to make food taste good and to be well balanced. Mm-hmm. You know, not every meal needs every nutrient that was ever existed on earth. You can make a lot of meals during the week, you know, the 5 to 10 meals like I said, and one will have broccoli and another will have spinach and whatever. So you'll get the food you need. Just make sure you're removing all of the junk.
I really like this recipe because so much flavor is coming from a variety of whole foods and fruits. And the avocado, it doesn't need much like in the way of spice.
This is, I mean, we did this today because it's a really nice summery bowl. It's got the freshness from the mango and the cilantro. Of course, you could use basil or parsley if you don't like cilantro. Mm-hmm. Now, we were just you can use regular old balsamic vinegar. Like I said, you don't need our products, but if you want to use our balsamic vinaigrette, it's got more flavor than this. It's got garlic, onion, things like that. And I didn't put any garlic or anything in this. So it's just a very basic, I mean, it's up to you. The sky's the limit. This is a blank canvas. You can take this and run with it. By the way, look in this bowl. It's looking beautiful. We haven't stirred it up yet.
Oh, I'm glad you showed it. Yeah, Peter was talking about his chili powder blend. That would be perfect for this. You can use our chili lime.
Our chili lime is sitting right here because I was going to throw in some of that. Again, not required. Our products are not required. You can throw in any of your favorite spice blends now to give this a little pizzazz. Here's our Calypso. It's a really nice citrusy, garlicky flavor in our Calypso, so why not throw a little bit of that in here? But really, at the end of the day, here's our balsamic vinaigrette. I'll just throw regular balsamic since I already used our stuff. And just throw in as much as you want, and then give it a stir, test it, do it again. What did I step in?
Marla says, okay, now that you had the Calypso, what about a sweet potato Caribbean bowl?
There you go. Oh, for the name. Oh, yeah. Boy. I love it.
Hey, you could add some rice on the side to this.
Oh, definitely.
Now
oh,
that
it
I'm
smells
looking
so
at it.
good. Look at this. Beans and potatoes, veggies, a lot of flavor from cilantro, balsamic. And now you can kind of see there's a little bit of liquid. No, you can't maybe see, but there's a little bit of liquid pooling. But if you want a little bit more sauciness, Reebs would probably want a little more sauciness. You can add some more. But I think this is actually pretty close. What do you think, Reebs? Does this look about like you used to make it?
Well, you just have to take a bite off the monster spoon and adjust as you want. You know, sometimes you taste it and you're like, no, it needs a little more sour. Heck, you could put, you'd be real crazy if you put like a teaspoon of date powder in there.
You could sweeten it a little, but it does have the mango. It's not necessary.
Someone said, oh, Debbie says you can even put that into a wrap.
Yes. Want to?
You guys,
Let's do it.
you run the show.
We were
You know what I was gonna say earlier though, when you were suggesting the spices, is just in case you guys know, I know we have a lot of international people that join us. We don't ever require our products for the live cooking show.
Yeah.
But so many people do love when we give recommendations, so we try to do that when we can.
Same with our cookbooks. Our cookbooks don't require our products. We do have a product guide, which is essentially a PDF electronic cookbook with like at least a couple recipes per product in there. So that's on our website. Cass, you can put a link in the chat box. But no, in our cookbooks and our cooking show, you don't have to have our products because I want to make sure everybody in the world can do it. You can get our cookbooks digitally. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous.
Thank you for making all of this so much less stressful, and thank you for stocking the nooch. Joined last night.
Yes, I didn't realize we were out. I knew it was going to be close because we were going to get our shipment in today, but then the holiday messed a couple things up.
Ooh,
so now we're getting it first thing next week.
We have another request.
Another request.
Ellen says in the wrap you could add lettuce or arugula.
I don't have arugula. Do we have any lettuce left, Reeves? Because we went out of town.
We
and
have
we
romaine.
Oh, we do.
Romaine, calm, Dill.
All right, here we go.
Mima says, I have all the ingredients. I'm going to stick the sweet spuds in the oven, making this for supper, swapping fresh pineapple for the mango.
Very nice. You'll love it. You'll love it with pineapple, too. I'm going to take some of these inner leaves that are nice and crunchy. Chop them up a little. Can you see me? Yeah.
Krista says, hey guys, I started the starch solution June 20th to help with joint pain and weight loss. I found you the next day, and you've helped so much. Will you be shipping to Canada in the future?
I hope to, but it'll only be happening once we're a little bigger. I need to find better ways. The problem with Canada or any international shipping for the food products is the customs and duty thing they add. There's a lot of surprise fees, and they were only coming up part of the time, and so it was really hard. Some people were thinking they were going to only spend $50, and then they get a bill from Canada government for a tariff or whatever on the food, and so I didn't like that. It was upsetting people, so it wasn't going great. I hope to have options in the future, but we haven't gotten very far in that part of it yet. Okay, ready for your wrap? We did exactly what you asked for. Add some lettuce, throw it in a wrap. Let's do this.
Brittany says, oh my God, no. Dylan did not just rip open the romaine in the middle of the package.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yes, I definitely did. Yeah, I have no respect for packaging. It just gets in the way. It was already open, and I think it was actually Reeves that opened this bag, just so you know.
Okay, Tanya says, surely this needs jalapeno.
Oh gosh, I have that too. You're actually right. This would be really good with a little spice too.
We'll add
Can
it
you
to
add
the
that
recipe.
note to the recipe? Maybe we'll add it as an optional ingredient. I do have a bunch of jalapenos, but we gotta get going. These 10-minute meals are taking some time. Okay, are you ready for a little sweet potato bowl wrap? Let me get a plate and I'll show it to you closer.
That's a wrap, Dill.
This is a beautiful wrap.
Jalapeno? I say jalapeno, yes, says Peter.
There it is.
Oh wow, Dill, that looks great.
Nice, huh? You could, I don't think it needs like tomato, but you could do that too if you want. You could do anything.
You could really, if you already had pico, you would just mix that in. But I love fresh raw jalapeno.
Yeah. But here we go this is definitely a meal. You got lots of starch, beans, potatoes, now the lavash. So this is going to be a nice filling meal. You've got lots of non-starchies, the lettuce, the bell pepper, some whole fruit. This is like every food group in one. Oh, magnificent. Here you go.
Oh, nice.
I'll just make a mess on the cutting board. We're the only ones eating this food, so I don't have to follow any etiquette rules.
Marla says, you need to call them quick meals, then they can be 12-minute meals.
Yeah, you get the point. This is definitely It's anywhere from 10 to 20, which is well beyond the minimum requirement for fast. You know, if you have a 10-minute meal, 10, 15-minute meal, you're going to be a lot faster making it yourself than going out and getting fast food or garbage. What?
Krista said, I'm still thinking about the spaghetti eyes.
You want to put them in the wrap too?
She spelled it like eyes, so it just made me laugh.
Oh, this is so good. And I didn't eat before the show like many of you, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Okay. Let's save all that for later.
I gotta take a bite.
It's exceptional. Really, really good. And now, you don't need the wrap, so you can just eat it like a bowl. Look at how beautiful this came out. It was gorgeous. It's perfect. Okay.
Dave says looks healthy.
Definitely healthy.
Tastes delicious.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's move on to meal number 3. By my math, we're only 20 minutes into the show.
By the way, we always say it's an hour-long show.
Yeah.
We usually go 90 minutes, if not 120.
I used to say 60 to 90, but then it's always 90. And now lately it's been closer to 2 hours, but we're going to see about just doing 90 today.
Yeah. Meals and minutes, says Steve.
But we don't get complaints about the show going long. Most people say, go long, go long.
Yeah, one time we were like, well, we ran out of time. We'll save the next recipe for next time. And people were like, no, don't leave.
They're like, I will unsubscribe. You will give me that recipe that you promised at the beginning of the show. So we did it, and we went 2 hours. Okay. Meal number 3 is going to be the beans. Let's do this thing.
Pardon me.
I'm gonna throw stuff right into the cold pan. A chef, if you're watching, would be very offended.
If you're that one chef.
If the chef is here, I don't follow any of the rules. I cut corners. I save dishes. Let's make some space. Excuse me. Okay, we need to bring over. So I've got a few more sweet potatoes for Luca to enjoy, for all of us to enjoy, plus the whole bowl we made. He would crush that bowl. He eats all the same stuff as us. Sometimes you just need to make it a little bit different size so that it's more mushed together, because otherwise he will separate the tofu from the rest.
Okay, you're talking about size of the pieces.
Yeah.
Not volume, you guys.
Oh my
he
gosh.
can eat the same volume as us. I'm like, you have this tiny little belly. Where does it all go?
It goes into the diapers. I know right where it goes. And they're plentiful. Okay.
Dylan, before the baby was born, he's like, let's try cloth diapers with a whole food plant-based diet baby. It'll be really fun. I'm like, all right, you're on diaper duty.
Whatever, it's been great. Yeah, that's true. I am the one doing the diapers. Cloth diapers are awesome. I just didn't like all that waste. Here we have a great value, that means Walmart, bag of chopped onions. This is a 10-ounce bag, which is pretty much equivalent to 1 yellow onion. This saves so much time. Yeah, I could sit here and chop an onion, cry for a while, and like I'm watching a Hallmark movie. But I'm just gonna save time and energy and use this. We're cooking it on the stove, so you're never gonna know the difference unless you do some sort of taste test, and even then, I highly doubt you're gonna know the difference. So throw it all into the pan. Boom, we got 1 onion. If you want less onion, you can use a little less, whatever.
Even I missed somehow what you're onto right now.
You're right. I explained it at the beginning. I should explain it now. Thank you for asking. We need a name for this. Please be thinking of that as we go. But we're going to play around with butter beans. Oh, I got to show you a can of the butter beans.
There's no butter in
butter beans. We're making a creamy beans and greens, or a hearty beans and greens. We're going to use hummus that we already would have had pre-made in the fridge to save time to make this. You could use a store-bought oil-free hummus too. It might not be totally SOS-free. It'll have some salt, but you got options. Our homemade hummus we put in our recipe last show. We used hummus, right, for something?
It was a few shows ago. We put it in a pasta.
I thought we did it like last show too. Anyway, We're making a creamy, hummusy butter beans, okay? These are the beans we're gonna be using. These are the only, I had to buy these online because I could not find them, no salt, or even in canned actually at all in the store, I don't think. So this is a no salt added, this is the Eden brand. Cass will drop a link in the chat box. And I just bought them on Amazon in a 12-pack for like $30. So they're not as cheap as regular old pinto beans or black beans, but feel free to change it up. It's fun to use a bean you don't often use sometimes, especially when it's already in a can. It's the same amount of work. But it's nice to change it up from time to time if you're getting bored with anything. So we're going to use those, and this is what they look like once you've rinsed and drained. You know butter beans. But this works with any beans, any white beans, anything you want. Okay, let's chop up a couple of mushrooms. This is optional. I was gonna leave out mushrooms because I just wanted to get onto the stove really fast, but Reebs loves this dish. If you go back to, what do you call it, Reebs bowl?
Oh, my favorite meal.
Reeb's favorite meal, I guess, is what we called it. And she does these mushrooms on the stove. She makes all these different ingredients prepped, and then puts them in the Tupperwares in the fridge, and then builds a bowl out of them. We haven't been doing this lately, but it was one of your favorite things when we first met. So she fries up the cherry tomatoes separately and gets them nice and plump where they're just like exploding. And then she'll do another pan where she'll do the mushrooms with a little bit of sweet, what's it called? Liquid smoke that we'll play with. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna kind of do it all together. And then she does greens. You do usually spinach. We're gonna also use spinach. So that's kind of what we're recreating in a really fast 10-minute meal with no prep. So the longest part of this would be, if you're gonna use mushrooms, you gotta chop mushrooms. You can find frozen chopped mushrooms, but that is one of those items that the texture isn't quite right. It's a little chewy for some reason. Well, because it was frozen. So let's just chop a few mushrooms, and we'll throw them in the pan with the, what are they called, onions.
Nice.
Okay. Now, here's how I usually chop mushrooms, is I'll cut them in half first. Get them all in half. You could leave them whole, but they're always rolling around the cutting board. So I'll cut them in half and plop them all face down. This is my speed mushroom chopping method. And then, now you can just go really fast. Whoops. And chop those mushrooms. We have shows on the replays where we're doing knife skills and talking about getting really fast at chopping.
Deborah says, I'm not the only one who writes recipes on an envelope.
Yup. Yeah, I reuse our junk mail.
Speaking of junk mail, do you still have that Cancer Society envelope nearby?
Yeah, do you want to read it?
Yeah, because we forgot to on the Hangout.
Here it is.
Okay, so I must have
Hold on, no, don't show that.
Oh yeah. I must have sent them like a donation or something. But on the back of this American Cancer Society envelope, it says, take these steps to stay healthy and reduce your risk of cancer by minimizing alcohol use, not using tobacco, maintaining a healthy weight, getting plenty of physical activity, eating healthy with plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And I read that and I was like, wow, they say that right on the envelope for the Cancer Society?
They're starting to get it figured out.
They're telling us to eat a plant-based diet.
Let's go to the stove. We'll get this heated up. I'll show you what else we're going to throw in to add some flavor. In fact, I'll just get it going.
You know, somebody else was talking about that they can't find frozen onions where they live, and that could be part of like your ingredient prep for the week, is just chopping up and freezing some of your own onions if you can't find them in a store near you.
Yep, that's a good idea. Always to cut little corners. That's a little more work. Most places you'll probably be able to find them. But if you like doing it that way, that's all good. Whew, it's toasty in here. I'm working hard. Not really though, these are really easy. Okay, here's what we're gonna throw in. The stove is heating up. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the minced garlic. This is the cheater garlic. You can get this in a big tank. like this from Costco. Obviously, fresh garlic is going to have a more potent flavor, but you don't need to worry about that because you can just use more of this and it saves a lot of time. You don't have to dirty another, like your mincer or whatever garlic press. You can get this big bottle from Costco. Here it is, minced California garlic. Okay?
Cindy's asking what we use to clean our cooktop. Do you want to show them your scrubber brush?
Well, all I use to do the cooktop are these sponges. Do I have one that isn't here in a box there? Here is what I use for it. These are just the sponges like this. I like these the most. I wish Costco had these. They don't. I buy them at Walmart. And they're not, you know, they're abrasive but not abrasive.
That's what we use on our pans too.
Yeah, I use this for cleaning most things. If I'm doing stainless steel, then I'll use the steel ones like this. I gotta go get to the stove, but these little steel scrubbers, you know? I call them robo pubes, get it?
Someone, K for Kale says, I feed my in-home childcare kiddos vegan. They eat as much as a grown man.
Yep. I can tell that now we're having a second boy, so I can tell it's going to be a wild ride. Okay, here's what we're throwing in. We've got the minced garlic. Whoops. I pushed the wrong button. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Did everybody see the stove when I was over there? There's the stove. Everything's heating up.
I missed it.
Minced garlic. We have some date powder here. Just to give it a little sweetness, some black pepper, crushed red pepper, optional. Whatever, you know, form of a little bit of heat you like is great. Here's the hummus, but we're not ready for that yet. So let's go back to the stove and throw all this in. And then I'm gonna use, that was a frozen onion, so it gave off a little bit of liquid, so you didn't really need to add much liquid to get the saute started. But I love to use this Pacific veggie broth just to help with sauteing so that nothing sticks. Remember, we're obviously not using oil for our sauteing. So I threw in the crushed red pepper and some date powder. There's the garlic and a little black pepper too. I like a little spice, and let's stir it up.
Someone says, when you don't cook with oil, cleanup is a breeze.
Cleanup is a breeze. And your stove hood doesn't get all nasty. And everything around your stove and your backsplash, like all it usually needs on the backsplash is just a little scrub with that same sponge.
Everyone's warning us what our food bills are going to be like when these boys are teenagers.
I know, right? Seriously. Oh, I need to throw these tomatoes in too. Here's like a half a pint of the cherry tomatoes. I want to get those cooking because I want them to get nice and plump. And then maybe I'll smash them like with a potato masher, or maybe I'll just let them be whole. We'll see what happens as we go. You could cut them in half if you want, but if you want the really fast version, just throw them in there and be done with it. Okay, we'll throw in, how did I want to do this? I was going to add some hummus, then we'll just throw in the spinach, the beans, and we'll finish with the lemon. I add the lemon at the end because if you cook the lemon, you're going to diminish kind of the potency of the lemony flavor. You could use lemon zest if you want. Lemon juice is all we usually do. Oh, I was going to throw in a little liquid smoke too. We came up with that last minute, so let's do it. Maybe just like, what do you think, Reeves, a half teaspoon or a teaspoon?
Half.
Half a teaspoon of liquid smoke, optional if you want to have a little smoky flavor for your mushrooms and tomatoes and greens and beans. Okay, and now that is all the flavor I'm putting in. I didn't add a bunch of herbs and spices, so if you want even more, you can put in some of our galaxy dust, our stardust. These are our very popular no salt seasonings that we sell on the website. But you can use any no salt seasoning you like, and there are tons of brands.
And people think that those are similar because of the name, but they're very different.
Yeah, they're very different. I need to add a little more liquid. It's drying out over here. Yeah, one is, the Galaxy Dust has all kinds of different veggies. Well, they both do. But the Stardust is more like a little bit of a nutritional yeast kind of flavor, a little more celery salt to give it that saltiness. But they don't use like the potassium chloride or any of that garbage. It's real food, real food.
People want a recommendation for liquid smoke.
Oh, sure. That's gonna be this one, Wright's Liquid Smoke. This one is what we like because it doesn't have like the caramel coloring and stuff that the other popular brand, I forget what even the name is, but this is a good one. And you can get it at most stores, I've found, but you can also find it on Amazon, and it ships easy. It's not gonna break. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh. Okay, let's start. This is like a 1/4 cup of hummus. I'm gonna start with about half, and let's see how creamy it gets.
Not sure you can overdo it.
Sorry?
Not sure you can overdo it.
I think you're right. I think you're right. A little more liquid so we don't dry this out too much. Yeah, I have a feeling I'll put in, at least 3-4 tablespoons of hummus.
Where do we get that liquid smoke?
Oh my.
I think we get it at Walmart or just on Amazon.
I think we bought it at Sprouts, didn't we?
Maybe. It lasts so long that I forget.
It does last a very long time. We keep it in the fridge. I don't know if it says to keep it in the fridge or not. But we keep some of those items that just really seem to last a long time in the fridge. We don't even really need it. Okay, this is looking really nice. Let's throw in the rest of our stuff. Let's do these beans. Here go the butter beans. Could have been black beans, could have been any beans. And then, boom.
Beans and greens.
This is like, I would call this 2 handfuls of baby spinach. You can chop it a little if you don't like whole spinach leaves, but when they wilt, I find that this is a nice size, so it's okay for me. Just saves you a little time to take it right out of the bag and throw it right in the pan. Isn't this looking nice? Now these leaves will just wilt down in like a minute, and you've got a dish. We'll just squeeze on some lemon and that's that.
Nice. You could definitely double this one.
Yeah, you could double or triple any of these really. Dang, this is looking nice. So I didn't bust the tomatoes, but like, what you think I should? Maybe I hit it with the masher and just kind of break them a little.
Yeah, speed it along.
Ooh, they explode, be careful. So now you didn't need to chop, you just kind of let them heat up and then blow them up a little.
I almost wonder what sun-dried tomatoes would be like in there.
Those would be good. You might want to soak them first. Nice, this looks delicious. That was a little heavy-handed on the hummus. This is like extra creamy. I don't think it's bad, but you can reduce if you want. Okay, anything else? Lemon. Let's get this thing cut.
I can smell all of those spices and the onion and the liquid smoke. Oh.
All right, I'm gonna kill the heat. We're good. And we'll squeeze in this lemon.
Ginny said, I would probably use kale. I'm not a fan of steamed spinach, probably because that canned spinach I was forced to eat as a kid. Ew, canned spinach?
Let's see what it's like with just a half a lemon first. Let me have a little taste. Oh, that's good. That's good with half a lemon, I think. Okay, let's make you a bowl. Dang, that's tasty. I'll set this here, and we'll show it to you up close. Here it comes. Some easy beans and greens. What do you think of that?
I really like the look of that.
Yeah, it doesn't make a huge portion, so you could double this one.
Like, it's giving me like an Italian vibe.
Oops, I'm on the wrong. Here we go. Check it out.
Right?
I don't know. Italian, you said?
Yeah.
You could say that. It's not. I don't know.
Tanya said might be good on pasta, and that's kind of what I
yeah.
was just thinking.
It'd be really good on pasta. It'd be, what else could you do with it? You could put it over like a baked potato. I mean, it's really
Hummus bean
versatile.
stew. I like that name, Marla.
Mmm. This is good. So good. All the flavor. I didn't add the galaxy dust and the stardust that I said you could add, and it's really good. I think a half teaspoon of the liquid smoke is just right. I mean, I did eyeball it. But this has a really nice
Mediterranean
subtle
too.
smokiness. It's really good.
Apple says put it over more greens.
Yeah,
Add
you could
sweet
put it.
potatoes
You
to
could
it.
put it over more greens. Yep. I like the mushrooms. I decided to add the mushrooms about 5 minutes before the show. When I was thinking about how Reeves used to make that bowl. And this is awesome. This is very tasty and definitely will be a nice, hearty, filling dish. Okay, well, might be a little hot for you.
Cindy says lemon roasted potatoes would be good with them.
Oh, have we done a lemon roasted potatoes?
Your
I think
mom
we
makes
have.
a really delicious, like almost like home fries with our lemon pepper pizzazz, and I can't remember. We've been meaning to do it in one of our Thursday emails. I'm not sure that we have yet, but oh, they're so good. Oh, this looks delicious, but it also looks very hot.
A+++, definitely.
Oh, I love the cherry tomatoes when they're cooked. I'm not the biggest fan of them raw, but cooked is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, hot.
Sorry about that. You know I do it hot. That's 3
really
10-minute
good.
meals.
That's so good. Wow,
Glad you like it.
delicious.
Yeah, that one's going on the meal rotation.
And you use
That was
the
really
frozen onions in this, right?
I used the frozen onions. I did chop some mushrooms. That was the only thing I really needed to, manually do something to, was the mushrooms.
That's delicious.
Excellent.
This is like a gourmet meal in 10 minutes. I can't even believe it.
Uh-huh. We got one more. Where is
Wow.
it? Here it is. We're going to make one more wrap. Y'all spoiled the wrap, but we're going to do another one anyway.
They wanted the wrap.
And we're going to make a ranch dressing, actually. We'll do that first.
So good.
I'm glad you like it.
And you guys can make these meals fancier too if you want. I mean, what if you wanted to like roast your cherry tomatoes in the oven and then add them?
I would ask why, but yeah, you can do the fancy version. My mom does this thing with Roma tomatoes. What do you do, Mom? You cut them in half and then put them face down on a baking sheet or on a Pyrex, whatever, and then she bakes them at like 200 degrees for hours until they just fall down into a little tomato patty. And it's probably a lot like making a sun-dried tomato, frankly, but it's softer than that. It's still a little juicy.
I love when
it
she
goes
does this.
really good with the hummus and like a pita type of to do like a dip or a crack. Because sometimes we'll take also the lavash and we'll just chop it into squares and put it in the Breville for just like a few minutes at a low temperature, and it'll make it into crackers. We've actually figured that out on the live cooking show a few years ago.
You know what it sounded like? That your mom needs to come host an episode.
Not a bad idea.
She's got
I'm sure
those
she'd love
lemon
to.
pepper potatoes. She's got those slow roasted tomatoes. Get
She
her
has come
here.
on the show several times in the past. You can see her in the replays. We are making a ranch dressing from scratch. This isn't a brand new recipe, but I wanted to just show you how to make it because a refresher.
Michelle says, I just got to read this one.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you guys on YouTube, but never live. This is so much fun. Thanks for including us.
Yeah, please sign up for the free trial. It costs you nothing, and you can join us for the next show as well. We're going to be doing brunch. In fact, we're doing another special right now that has been very popular. The one on the left, the cookbook deal, ends in just a few days. So get on top of that. If you haven't gotten our cookbooks yet, we're doing 3 cookbooks, all 3 hard copy. And if you do the hard copy version, you get the digital version as well for $60. That only ships to the USA, but it does ship for free. Expedited shipping it's like 2 days shipping once it leaves us, and it usually leaves us within 1 day. And then the digital, if you're outside of the country or you just prefer digital, you can get all 3 of our cookbooks for 30 bucks. That's half price on the digital. So essentially it's 10 bucks less per book. And then what I was going to say is that our next show, here's our next 2 shows after today. So Breakfast in Bed, also known as brunch, and Comfort Food. So these will be our next 2 upcoming shows. So mark your calendars, sign up for the free trial, and you'll get at least today and the next show of recipes. And then hopefully I'll convince you to stick with us for even longer, and you can see what a good time the show is. The chat box is awesome. Everybody's interacting with us. It's very fun. It's our chance to actually hang out with people, even though we're not all together. Someday we'll do something together, but we haven't yet.
You know, Dylan, I would have to say that all of this food is comfort food.
It's very insightful, Roops. Thank you. Let's get to the ranch. We are going to make this ranch with, it's just a little bit of water and hemp seeds. Hemp hearts is our base, okay? So we're going to use, these are the hemp hearts of the hemp seed, right? They're dehulled or whatever. And we'll throw those in. It's a fair amount. We want this to be rich. Of course, you could do this with cashews or tofu or white beans or whatever. And then it's as simple as the rest of these ingredients would be, oh, I need some lemon too. But mustard, what's it? Oh, white pepper. White pepper, ground mustard. We've got some dried dill. It's really good with fresh dill. A couple cloves of garlic. You could use the minced garlic as well for this. And we'll just throw this into here.
Someone was asking if it's free shipping.
For what, the books or for anything? It's free shipping on all orders $50 or more. So with the books being $60, you're getting free shipping on those. And if you only order the books, that's when we do the expedited. If you get food items with it, then they'll ship in one FedEx ground type of box, okay? So if you order stuff like a bigger order, make sure you're using your physical address, not a P.O. box. Mm-hmm. And then it's just as simple as this is what?
A
1/3. I'll leave a little back just in case. And I'm just going to use the little magic bullet. I love the magic bullet for small portions of dressings like this. Sure, you can make a triple batch and leave it in the fridge. It'll keep for a week to 2 weeks just fine. But I love the little bullet for this regardless. And then I give it a little shake because just to keep it moving around. You know, this isn't a hardcore high-speed blender, but it does great for this sort of thing. So you might have to shake it along a little bit just to keep it kind of moving around. And then let's see, do we want to add, yeah, I'm going to add the rest of the liquid. It's still a bit thick. There's maybe a teaspoon more. So that's 1/3 cup.
Did you put the lemon?
Oh, I forgot the lemon. That's the other thing that adds liquidiness. So put the lemon in first. Let's do that now.
Maybe I
did I call for a 1 whole lemon? Yes. So let's do another lemon.
Did I forget to set it out? I see a straggler lemon over there.
That could be it. It probably fell off the tray. No big deal.
It can't fall off the tray. I always put it in a ramekin.
She sure does.
Jean says, I made macaroni salad with this dressing and it was so good.
Okay, this might be a little too liquidy now, but we'll see. No big deal. A macaroni salad with the ranch, is that what you meant? Mm-hmm. Cool. If it's too liquidy, you can always add a little more hemp hearts, something like that. This is good. It's a little liquidy, but we're only using it to dip. So I'm going to just throw it, well, let's get another little ramekin. And it seems that we only have white ones left.
Oh, you want a different color?
Yeah, what happened to all those nice teal ones? Okay, ranch dressing. There you have it. Hope you like it. I'm going to rinse this. Rinse your blender immediately.
I like the clear little dish. That way you can see through it.
Let's let's rinse the blade too. Okay, now we're gonna make a barbecue wrap. So this requires you to have some barbecue sauce or to make a barbecue sauce. I'm not gonna make it because we're not gonna be here all day. So I'm gonna include our homemade barbecue sauce recipe in the PDF download so you can make it from scratch. But it's the same process as how we just made the ranch. Throw everything into the blender and turn it on and you have barbecue sauce, okay? So we're just gonna use the Well Your World for this, but understand that it could be whatever, or you can just home make one. That will obviously not make it a 10-minute meal if you're gonna make a whole bunch of sauces all at once, but the nice thing is you could make them in batches and keep them in the fridge or whatever. Okay.
I like the taste of barbecue right now and smack dab in the middle of July, but you could also do like the Indian or
yeah. Any of our
want.
sauces, any of your sauces, anything goes. So we're just gonna prep a couple of really simple ingredients. We've made our sauces, and I wanna just prep some veggies that are gonna go into this wrap. It's gonna go this way. This is a long cucumber, so let's just cut it about in half.
Were you measuring it to the lavash?
I was measuring it to the length of lavash. And now we're just gonna kind of cut it into, well, we'll just do it like this. I like to get a flat surface so that things aren't rolling all over the cutting board. And now you could like cut it into some thin little strips. So like turn those pieces sideways. This is mostly skin. And now you got some nice little cucumber strips, okay? Looks good.
That is, yeah. You're making it,
Whoops.
okay. I see what you're doing, and I'm interested.
What, making strips?
Yeah, strips as long as the length of the bread.
Well, yeah, you gotta have your bites just right. Here's some celery. We'll do the same thing. Just cut it. You cut it in half, and then you can start kind of cutting it into some thin strands as well. And then this just takes a second. Of course, you could dice it or whatever, but you know, once you dice it, it'll be falling out of your lavash more easily. Okay. Looking good. These are raw carrots, so there's gonna be a nice little crunch. And then again, you can turn it sideways, and you can. It's not matchsticks. It's just some like handy sandwich wrap strips. Okay.
Nice.
What else? Oh, some bell pepper. Let's cut a bell pepper into some strips too. And I'll just kind of go like this. Okay.
Cynthia says, your barbecue sauce rocks.
Yeah, it's really good.
Someone says, it looks like you're making veggie sushi.
Too much work. Okay, so now let's make our main starchy filling for this thing. I need another bowl. And this is going to be as simple as 1 can of chickpeas, rinsed and drained, some corn. So we have some, whoops, this button is a little funny. Here's some corn, chickpeas. I try to find the no salt chickpeas. Let's throw these in a bowl.
That's that char roasted corn.
Yeah, this is the Trader Joe's char roasted frozen corn. That is nice. You could use a can of corn or a part of a can of corn or whatever too. I'm putting the corn and the chickpeas in here, and I'm going to throw in some barbecue sauce and mix it together. What do you think? Mash it together? Mash it together.
Yeah.
Because you want it to stick to your lavash.
Janine says, what do you use to sharpen your knives? We actually have a whole knife sharpening episode.
In the first like 30 episodes, somewhere in there, or 10 episodes
it's
even.
like episode 7 or 9.
And you can see all of that, but I have a whole kit. I do a little bit of a fancier knife sharpening than is really necessary. You could just get a regular old knife sharpener. They work pretty well. And now we're just gonna mash this. And it's just, you know, we're not mashing it into a pulp. We're just giving it a little mashiness. And I used maybe 1/3 cup to 1/2 cup of barbecue. I'm gonna add a little bit more now that I see that I want it to be a little bit saucier. This is a really nice summery recipe because of the barbecue flavors and the nostalgia associated.
Mm-hmm.
So just eyeball it. You can just add as much as you like and give it a mix until it's the amount of sauciness you prefer. Okay, looks good.
Anyone doing any fun summer activities? I feel like being from Chicago, we actually did fun stuff in the summer, and here it's like 117, so I'm like, where's all like the music in the park and, you know, the car shows? What am I supposed to do with myself?
Well, most people that are not us have pools in their backyards.
Mm-hmm.
Not most, but a lot of people here
A lot of
have
pool
pools.
parties, picnics.
So they're hanging out in the pool all weekend, every weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, my old house had a pool and I got really sick of taking care of it. And now I kind of want a pool again. But I'm okay with it. My mom has a nice pool at her complex.
Yeah, it is really nice.
We just have to make her come with us every time to get in.
Yeah, she's got to sign us in.
Okay, let's make another wrap, shall we? That's it, y'all. 10 minutes or less. What am I doing? We're gonna take some of our barbecue. Throw that on here. Whoops.
Hey, you could do this in like a romaine lettuce boat too.
Definitely, you could do this in lettuce. Okay. I'm kind of just mashing it in so it doesn't fall out so easily once I go to pick it up. And now we just start throwing in whatever ingredients you like. There's some carrots, our celery's a little long. We're gonna have to do a little chop. Otherwise it really is like a sushi roll.
It does give me spring roll vibes.
Okay, next ingredients, we got some red pepper. Let's do a little more carrot. Here's that cucumber.
It's a summer roll, says Cassandra.
It sure is. I'm dropping everything today. Okay. Now, that's really all we were gonna maybe do some avocado on the inside. You wanna do that still?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could add some lettuce, but I think there's enough crunch already there.
Yeah, you could do some lettuce. I lost my tools. So we'll just go lengthwise on the avocado, and then we'll have some nice strips. And then boom.
Cilantro, says Barb.
Sure, yeah, you could do that. That's very fitting with the
I do like
barbecue.
cilantro with barbecue. Just like our barbecue quinoa summer salad. That's in our product guide.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
All right, I'll get some cilantro, but you guys, it's a 10-minute meal. You only have so much time if you're gonna stick to the standard.
They just know it's the last meal. It is, right? They know it's the last and they're trying to drag it out.
Oh, you're trying to get us to stay late. Got you. That's fair. Get your money's worth. Okay, a little cilantro it is. You called it, you asked for it, you got it. Toyota. Boom, just a little cilantro on top, okay? Now are we ready to roll? You could put some ranch right in the wrap if you want. We could spoon in just a little bit of the rancho. A little on top, looking good, looking good. Nice, and then of course you can dip. Here we go. Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for the dipping action.
And then I use a serrated knife just so I'm not pressing through the wrap too much, but actually sawing through it. Oh boy, look at how pretty that is.
2 wraps?
2 wraps, you called it. It was only supposed to be 1 wrap. I have to get closer. There we go, looking good. All right, Reebs, you coming over for this one?
Yeah, I guess I should.
Here you go. You can hold it over a bowl if you desire. I'm gonna hold it over the cutting board.
Did you do a dip?
Oh, I forgot to dip.
I do my dip first, so then I'm not double dipping, but I'm still gonna double dip.
Oh, it's super good. The barbecue is like a really nice touch. Yeah, I'm gonna do it with a spoon. The chickpeas and the corn, that's nice. That's a good touch.
Sometimes 2 sauces are the way to go.
That is true. Perfect.
That's delicious.
Very easy. It's just another idea. We didn't exactly invent some kind of elaborate recipe here.
Right.
It's just ingredients thrown into a wrap that you didn't think would be a meal, and it is. One more bite. They do have some gluten-free. No, these were wheat.
Yeah, I thought they were gluten-free.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I was disappointed.
I won't bother with them. I don't know if we're ever going to eat them. I just threw them in the freezer and was like, they weren't what I thought.
Yeah, same here.
But
This is delicious. I'm still eating it.
what did we start with? We did the SpaghettiOrzos at the beginning of the show. We made the sweet potato bowl, but also into a wrap at your request. Then we made the tasty, creamy, hummusy butter beans recipe. Did we get a name for that?
I feel like we got so many names that we forgot to decide on one.
And then we did the BBQ Wrap, and that was that. So I hope you enjoyed this free show. Please sign up for the free trial if you'd like to get these recipes and enjoy all of the previous 120 episodes. You can go back and get every one of the PDFs. Don't forget, we're doing the cookbook bundle right now. If you watch the replay like a month from now, we're not going to have that because it's going to end in a few days. But hey, I'm letting you know now because you're here live. And just so that you know, if you're still on the fence, this is what you get if you sign up and join us for the free trial or for any month of a cooking show. We get 2 shows every month, a 10% discount on everything. So even the cookbook sale, you'll get another 10% off on top of that if you become a member first. And then you get all the replays and the fun community interaction.
400 recipes.
At least. Are you sure it's not more than that?
It's probably more than that.
Thank you all.
Well, now it's 404 at the very least.
There you go. Thank you all for being here live and for your support. Thanks for checking out the replay. Leave us a comment down below if you like this style of show. This is not obviously our normal YouTube video. We are just doing this free trial. We only go on with the full cooking show version like this, public on YouTube 2 times a year. So this was one of them. So thank you all for the support. We love you. Have a great weekend. Well, your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.